Welcome to Whiskey is a Journey. My name is Peter Faciano. And even though my top 5 beginner whiskey flight series is over, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the 5 flight whiskey offerings to my friends. I got out of school. If you guys don't know, I am a middle school science teacher in Phoenix, Arizona. Summer's upon us, and it's time for us to get out of the heat and head up north into the North Country in the woods area. And I spent about 6 days up in the woods, camping, fishing, hiking, kayaking. I had a couple of friends come up a little bit later on in the week. They were up there Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And my intention was to film a video or shoot 2 videos, 5 campfire whiskeys, and I was going to break it up into bourbons and scotches. My intent was to shoot while I was up there. Obviously, things didn't go the way that I wanted them to go, and I did a lot of relaxing while I was up there, which is going to bring me to today's video. I'm going to cover 5 campfire bourbons of 2023. Before I get into it, let me know in the comments down below if you were going to serve a flight of 5 whiskeys. And just like always, I can't just do 5. I'm going to have to finish off the camping adventure or sitting around the campfire with a 6th special bottle. So do me a favor, let me know in the comments down below if you were going to be out in the woods, camping, just hanging out by the campfire, what are your 5 bourbons that you would serve, and what would be a special bottle to serve at the end of the night or the end of the weekend? And like, subscribe, share, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. So let's go ahead and jump into bourbon number 1. Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Now I think this one is going to be a popular offering for sitting around a campfire. Again, the outdoor kind of notes here. I think the names of these whiskeys are also going to hit an outdoor point. And this one's coming in like I think most Woodford Reserves. This is 45.2% ABV. And that double oaked is going to bring forth the woods type atmosphere. I mean, you're sitting in the forest with a bunch of trees, and the oak that's in here, I think, is going to pair really well with kind of hanging out with a campfire. There's some pretty deep oak flavors that are coming through with this. I understand that this is not a double oaked product that is for everybody, but my experiences in the past, I think this one would do rather well. It's a little bit low on the ABV to start out the night, and I think everybody that's sitting around, chatting, having a good time would enjoy this one. All right, second one, Knob Creek 12. I think Knob Creek 12 coming in at 100 proof is going to be a good step up for that second whiskey. And I think the name is obvious. Knob Creek, you can't be out in the woods without, having some sort of water source around. In this case, Knob Creek 12. It has that Jim Beam nuttiness that I think is going to follow up the double oaked rather well. And price point on this was $52. The Woodford Reserve was $52. The Knob Creek 12 was $59.99. So we're not talking about budget busters here at all. Some of them are starting to increase in price, but I think these are going to be pretty good to share around a campfire and not have to worry about replacing the bottle, as everybody is enjoying everything and they're going down pretty well. You're still going to have a pretty good amount of oak that's coming through here because of the 12 years of age, and plus that nuttiness, like I had mentioned, is going to go well in the series here. Bottle number 3. Can't be outside and not talk about Yellowstone. So Yellowstone, this is coming in at $79.99, so we're getting up there a little bit in price. And the notes that you're getting in this one is not necessarily a nutty profile or a dark oak. This is more along the lines of Old Forester and Jack Daniels. It comes across as creme brulee. You have the banana notes that are in here. It's going to come across sweeter than the other 2. And I think this is a good progression as you're going from oaked to nuttiness to a little bit sweeter. And we're jumping up in ABV. This is a 57.5%, 115 proof. And as you're sitting around the campfire, you're warming up, Yellowstone just evokes this outside, outdoor type attitude. All right, how am I doing so far? Please let me know in the comments down below what your campfire bourbons would be. And then also don't forget to put in a 6th special bottle. Let's go on to bourbon number 4. You can't sit around a campfire without smoke. So we're doing Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered, 57.68% ABV. Coming out of Nevada, this one is going to be an MGP product, and it just has a different offering than any of the others. So as I'm thinking about these flights and putting them together, I don't want to serve something that tastes exactly the same or very similar as we go. Each one of these, even though they are bourbons, are all coming in with different types of profiles. On the nose and on the palate, I think you're going to get a little bit more traditional bourbon notes on this one. You're going to get some good brown sugars, some caramel, some vanilla, and this one also has some good cherry notes in it as well. Getting away from a little bit of the oakiness that were in the first two, and now we're moving on to the sweetness. And if I haven't said it already, the price on this one is $75, so we haven't cracked the $100 mark just yet. In fact, I don't think we're going to hit the $100 mark with the exception of one, and that's going to be the special one at the end of the night. Bottle number 5 is going to finish off the flight, and then you're going to surprise them at the end with one last pour. Bottle 5 is going to be Wild Turkey Rare Breed Barrel Proof. This one's coming in at 58.4%. This is about a $50 bottle. Obviously, Wild Turkey. You can't really talk about the outdoors. Sitting in the outdoors, you're going to be listening to all the different sounds of the wild, and I think the Wild Turkey is going to be a good one to throw into this flight. People talk about the Wild Turkey funk. This one definitely has it, and the ABV is going to support that flavor as well. And for me, in my opinion, as you're going from oak to sweet, this one kind of steps back just a little bit. You still have a little bit of sweetness, but now you're introducing a little bit more spice as well. You're going to get oak, you're going to get cinnamon spice, you're going to get that Wild Turkey funk, and then you're also going to get those traditional bourbon flavors as well. And as you can see, not only am I looking at different flavor profiles, but I'm also using the names of the bourbons themselves to kind of elicit a feeling of being in the outdoors. We have Double Oaked, we have Knob Creek, we have Yellowstone, we have Wild Turkey, we have Smoke from the Campfire, which is going to lead into our final special pour of the night, or the special pour of the weekend. I don't really necessarily know if you're going to want to sit around and drink all 6 bourbons in one sitting, so you might want to break these up. But depending upon the size of your group, people might want to pass on some of these and go right to the others. So my 6th and final special bottle is going to be Old Elk Cigar Cut. Now this one, as you guys can tell, over the past month or so, I've had a little bit of an obsession over Old Elk. This is coming out of their own Fort Collins distillery. They are no longer sourcing, at least from this one, from MGP. And this one's going to be coming in at $129.99, basically $130 in Phoenix, Arizona. And we have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. We have sherry cask finish, Armagnac cask finish, port cask finish, and cognac cask finish. So this one is going to end the night with some pretty complex flavors. Sitting around a campfire, my group of friends, we are not smokers. We don't smoke cigars. We don't smoke cigarettes. So even though this says that it's a cigar cut, you don't have to smoke a cigar to enjoy this. And there's no judgment here. If you guys want to sit around the campfire and smoke cigars or cigarettes, that is totally up to you. I don't even smoke. That one's for you, Aaron. And this does have quite a bit of sweetness. So coming off of the Wild Turkey spice, the sweetness that is in here, I think, is also going to offer something a little bit different. It's going to end the night with a well-rounded, well, I can't say well-rounded because all of these things, I believe, are well-rounded. It's just going to be a different profile. If you haven't had this yet and you have an opportunity to try it, please go ahead and try it. I think it's going to be well worth it. So there you guys have it. Those are my 6 bourbons that I would serve sitting around a campfire. What would you guys serve your friends if you guys were heading up for a weekend, a long weekend, a couple of days? What are your bourbons that you would introduce your friends to while sitting around the campfire? I'd be really interested to see what you guys come up with. Do you guys like my list? Do you not like my list? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed this. Next Friday, I'm going to hit my Scotch campfire whiskeys. So if that sounds interesting to you guys and you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell notification. I go live with videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I really would appreciate the support. If you guys are watching these videos and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. All right, that's where I'm going to leave it. Enjoy your journey, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.